because it was a bunch of people who did not know. It was a bunch of ignorance all coming together. Like, there was
by your ignorance combined, I am racist.
Listen. Greetings and salutations.
What's up?
It is I, Big Dan, Rodan, coming at you live from the 215, your comic book connoisseur, your sommelier of sci-fi and superheroes, here to welcome you to an episode of BNR.
BNR.
That's right. Now, as you always know, I am never by myself.
Never ever.
If I'm doing this by myself, call somebody.
Terribly wrong.
Call on them and check on them. Ask them how they doing.
Oh goodness.
Jayhawk.
Yo.
How you been?
I've been good.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, okay.
Always.
What's up? It's the last descendant of Yasuke, sub over dub for all anime. Salsa dancing ninja. Stay on his toes. Got a sake flight ready to go. It's your boy, Hawkins Hanzo. Let's go. Let's go.
We also call him Jayhawk here.
Also.
I mean, I didn't get my sound, but as you guys are also very much aware, Sterling is still out enjoying self-healing. I guess that's the way to put it, right? Yeah. He's in his emotional back to tank, personal back to tank. That's what, in Star Wars, to heal. Kind of just like.
Oh, was that what's that bull's name?
Boba Fett reference.
Yeah.
It also is that as well. Anyway, so as I will continue to go on until he returns, is send him some love.
Yeah.
If you know him, talk to him.
Definitely.
Because we already do that, so it's not. You ain't got to worry about that already.
It is what it is.
But this is BNR.
BNR. What does that stand for?
Oh, booze,
news,
and reviews.
Reviews.
That's right.
Reviews.
We haven't done one since the Batman.
Yeah, since the Batman.
That was a while ago.
That was a while. Probably. I don't want to date this. That was
a
while ago.
It was a while ago. It was a few weeks at least. It was a while ago. Anyway, yeah. So we're gonna jump right into it.
Just get right into it, cause
booze, baby.
All right, I got you.
Welcome. Shot seat.
Shot.
That's right.
Stand in the gap.
There's only two of us, so one of us is in the shot seat, and it is Jayhawk.
Hey,
not me. That means I get to ask the questions.
Let's do it.
If Joshua gets the answers correct, he does not have to take the shot. If, however, he gets it wrong, go ahead and down that bad boy.
Yeah.
So we're going to ask some anime questions here.
No. Oh no.
And I'm going to start off with an easy one.
Uh-oh. He says that.
I say that, but we'll see. In Dragon Ball Z, who fights Cell after Goku gives up?
Who fights Cell after Goku gives up?
Correct. Do you need multiple choice? I can give you that.
Immediately after?
Who fights Cell after Goku gives up? That's the question.
That's the question?
It does not say immediately. It doesn't say 3 episodes after. We all know how Dragon Ball Z works.
Oh, goodness. I'm going to say Gohan.
Okay.
That's right?
I believe that's correct, yes.
Oh,
that's what I'm looking at here.
I mean, because I think it's Gohan. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was like Hercule or Mr. Satan, if you call him whatever. Because I don't know if Gohan stepped up immediately after. But I must say Gohan.
It was Gohan.
So yeah.
You're good.
Hey.
All right. Well, we'll be back for another episode of Shot Seat.
You was born in a hot.
Booze. Tonight's booze is a gin from none other than Snoop Dogg. Indoggo or Indigo, whichever you want to say it, INDOGGO. With its laid-back California style, is like no other flavored gin in the world. It's gluten-free, sugar-free, low-calorie, and 5 times distilled. Indoggo is the ultimate remix of 7 premium botanicals infused with an all-natural strawberry flavor. Unapologetic, fresh, and clean. This spirit is ideal for sipping on the rocks with a squeeze of lime or mixing with tonic or juice. In addition to juniper berry, other botanicals include orange, coriander, and cassia. Cassia, for all those who don't know, is also called Chinese cinnamon. At least that's what Google said. And Doggo comes in at 40% alcohol. And
we will be enjoying.
we're going to be partaking it. Also, I have some
Go ahead and show the people.
Orange juice.
Okay.
Juice. People know what orange juice is. And then I also have some ginger beer. If we decide to mix it, the ginger beer and Doggo would be a gin mule, kind of like a Moscow mule, but it's ginger beer and gin. So
if you would like
mule.
to support us in buying copper cups, so that way mules are appreciated the proper way, Cash App us or support our Patreon.
Then also we have the orange juice for the original
Gin and juice, yeah. Oh, so we have choices.
We have choices. Wow. I will say,
Can we do both?
I mean, if you drink, whatever, yeah.
All right.
If you smell it, it smells like it's going to be like super sweet.
But it says no additional sweeteners.
Yeah, but it smells like it's almost like a rum, which is very interesting.
I'm sorry, my microphone seems distant.
Do what you do.
Come closer.
Yeah, this smells like a rum, almost like was that Dragonberry back in the day? Bacardi Dragonberry almost, or Bacardi Strawberry, but yeah.
It smells.
But
beautiful.
it's a gin.
It smells beautiful. Is it a dry gin?
I don't know. It's a gin though. It is a gin.
I'm out here.
The smell will definitely throw you.
The smell is deceiving. This is gin.
It will throw you for a loop.
But see, I'm a gin drinker, so I'm not.
Are you?
I appreciate a good gin.
You and Sterling.
See,
when did that happen?
I don't know. After taxes, maybe? Maybe after paying taxes, I was like, because I felt at first like, gin drinkers were always like people's uncles and grandfathers. But I think after like that first year that I had to pay taxes, I was like, let me go and get a bottle of that.
This
I like it. This is great, actually.
It's
not dry.
It's not my favorite gin. My favorite gin is actually Roku gin.
Which we've had.
Yeah, we have had that, I do believe. This though, it's gin, but it's not a bad gin. I'm just not a gin drinker. That's why I'm having trouble. Like, I don't know where this lands for me.
So it's not a dry gin. The strawberry, for whatever reason, the way the science is working on the palate, doesn't allow it to go down dry. If it is dry, somebody lying. But it's smooth. Once you hear distilled 5 times, the burns on the back end.
Yes, okay. It definitely does.
More here than here. I mean, you acquired this bottle, so I don't know the price tag. And I mean,
I definitely think
I don't know if
you're
it's
paying
worth
for the
cost.
jar.
Okay, so you're paying for the name.
I mean, it's an exquisite jar, but
I mean, it's quality glass.
Yeah,
get a sense of that chime there. But I wouldn't call this high end.
Yeah,
but I think you're also paying for the name.
Yeah.
So,
I think this.
Since we're trying it straight, I'm gonna rate it about a 3, 3.5. Higher than like mid. It's just a little bit over mid for me. But I've also had a lot of gin. So
sure.
This, and you expect the artistry behind it to be like,
Well, they said he developed it, so I don't know how much of a hand he had in it, but I mean, they said that's what it says on the website.
I mean, it tastes musical.
I gotta give this like a 2.8.
seeing as though you're not a gin drinker, right? This is no. I'm gonna take the score. Take the score. I'm not gonna change your mind. I'm saying the scale slides higher for me only because I've had worse gins.
Sure.
And I've also had better gins.
Sure.
And this leans closer to like better than mid and well over worse.
The smell. I think for me, it's the smell that throws me.
Deception, like disgrace.
Like smelling that, I'm
Not
like,
disgrace.
oh, I'm sure gonna like, oh, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be something different. And it's like, oh no, that's gin. I will say though, I'm excited to mix it because I think this will mix very well.
I think the aromatics give you. It gets you excited for something that doesn't show up.
Yeah, very much so.
But I also think it's the aromatics are more for the cocktail of it than for the actual like drink it, the alcohol itself.
Yeah.
Because if you order this and you're like out, the club is dimly lit, and you're like, yeah, let me get that Indogo, and you're like,
It should be fun.
it smells like a party.
Yeah. Oh, but that would be the worst. That would be the worst if you're like, oh, that looks really cool. Let me cop that. And then if you're not a gin drinker, that'd be interesting. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna mix this.
Right. While you're mixing, I'll wait for you to do yours, and then since you're a beer
Do you
man,
want
no,
a
I'll do my news while we wait.
Oh, okay.
So, few things.
Hospital with incompetent doctors who didn't bother to press you against your mother's chest. But
And welcome back
Welcome back.
to question number 2 of
Number
Shots
two. Dose. Let's
That's
go.
right. I'm gonna ask Jayhawk another question here.
Let's do it.
In Death Note, who is the Shin Shingami who gives a death note to Misa? Is it A. Ryuk, B. Rem, C. Sido, D. the Shin Shingami King?
All right. So the thing is, I know it's either Ryuk or Rem, but I can't figure out or remember actually if Light or L orchestrated Ryuk to give it to her.
I mean, you got a few more moments here.
All right, I'm gonna say Rem. I'm gonna say Rem. Final answer. Let's go, Rem.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Apparently, these are not very difficult questions. However, they would be hard for me as I have not watched all of these anime.
Nah, it's the multiple choice that helps because
Process of elimination out here. I see what you're doing. I am not upset.
All right. And now back to our regularly scheduled episode.
that's okay, cause Jehovah say that your mother blessed, and we are here to guide you through life and teach you.
PlayStation Plus has now upgraded their tiers, and give you some details on that really quick. So there's been this rebranding of PlayStation Plus, which is supposed to arrive in June. It's supposed to be the competition for the Xbox Game Pass. Xbox Game Pass, as far as a service is concerned, pretty much gives you access to the upwards of like 300 titles.
Xbox Game Pass.
Xbox Game Pass. And also, this allows you to play games back from the original Xbox, Xbox 360,
Wow.
Xbox One. If you have the Game Pass, you also are able to play PC games as well, because Microsoft is Xbox and Xbox is Microsoft. You get discounts, cloud saves, which do not require an additional subscription.
Are the Xbox games remastered, or is it
Some
just...
of them are remastered, others are not. Some of them are the OG graphics, not scalable. If you have an Xbox, Series X, you're not gonna be like, wow, So, with the tiers, Xbox Game Pass has Xbox Game Pass for console, then the PC Game Pass. And then the I'm reading my notes here. Game Pass Ultimate, which pretty much you have Ultimate that covers like Xbox Live, all the games, EA Play, because they have the partnership with EA, so you're going to get that as well. Most of their titles are available to play pretty much after about a month, if not, some that are just straight to Xbox. But more about PlayStation Plus. There's the Essential, the Extra, and the Premium. Cost-wise, you're paying $9.99 for the Essential, $15 for the Extra, and $18, because I'm not going to keep saying 99 over and over again, $18 for the Premium. Price per year, they do offer a yearly subscription, which Xbox, Microsoft does not. So for the Premium, it's $120, it's $100 for the Extra, and then $60 for the Essential. They don't offer family plans, which ironically Nintendo Online does, but we don't talk about Nintendo right now. Access to older games. You're pretty much getting access to PS1, PS2, PSP, PS3, PS4 games, and that's all depending on the tiers. So if you're interested in that and you are Team PlayStation, I think this is a quite the beneficial package and features. I don't know as of how it's going to play out for the console wars, but I think by now everyone's pretty much in their own lane. You can afford what you can afford. I'm not paying the upwards of $900 for a PS5 just because some privileged kid had bots and did what he did. Some other notes here. DC launched their 2022 roundtable, and surprisingly, there's no Batman titles on that in that round robin competition. There's no Batman titles on there.
What does that mean? What's the round robin?
So it's almost like March Madness type vibes, but the competition determines its next series, right? And
so Batman doesn't have a next series?
Batman does not have an additional next series. It's pretty much March Madness 4. And then so Batman's not on the list at all. And I think the only reason that's surprising is because Batman has too many titles. Sure. I'm pretty sure DC was just kind of like, we don't know which one to pick. So let's see. There was one more piece of news I had here. I'm just trying to remember it.
I will say that I was not wrong in mixing the Indoggo with even with just the ginger beer was great. Ginger beer and orange juice is even better. So as a mixed drink, it gets like a 3.5, maybe even a 4.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna get over there.
Yeah.
Let's see how that goes. There was one more piece of news here. One Piece is getting a JRPG, and take it how you will. One, I'm not a fan of One Piece just because I don't have the time to go back and watch 1,000 episodes.
Sure.
I didn't start, can't finish. That's just how it is. Take that how you will. I think that's it for my news. I do want to just double check here while I'm here.
Do you think?
I know that there was some small nerfs made to Elden Ring because a lot of people have been beating the game quickly, and there's speed runners who are now just like chumping the game based on.
I thought it was impossible to beat Elden Ring. How could anybody beat it?
It's not impossible. I didn't say that. I just said I'm not good. I know my limits.
Oh man!
If you ask any of my friends, I put that in quotation marks. Whenever I talk about Elden Ring, they were like, "Just go ahead and delete your character and start over, get better." Here's what it was: GTA Plus. Now I frown upon this. I don't like it. I don't like the concept. It is a subscription service to the GTA Online existing game, which already has microtransactions out the butt. Now the subscription service gets you access to additional perks some money, in-game money. You can take your yacht and turn it into a super yacht. Listen, I have acquired too many billions of dollars in the game and bought so many in-game things in GTA Online. And as a person who hasn't played it in the last few months just because of time, this seems, I don't know, crackpotty. I don't like it. It's something
Wow.
that I don't appreciate that Rockstar has done, because the biggest thing that you could do for your community who already plays your game, religiously, is not be like, give us more money and we'll make you feel better on the inside.
Right.
Like, this is giving very much capitalism. This is giving very much
It was always capitalist.
yeah, it's giving very much Daddy Warbucks. It's a lot of I don't know, U.S. government. That's how it feels. It gives Medicare is what it does. It gives me health insurance is what it's telling me. Let me stop before I get removed.
I got news.
I bet. Go ahead.
Okay. Here.
Give me that while you do that. Whatever this is about to be.
Here's
I'm gonna mute my mic.
my news. Hold on. And I'll give you that.
Thank you.
All right. I have here Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury, just dropped a teaser. It shows that what could be the protagonist and their Gundam. And this possible protagonist would be the first female lead in the franchise, like forever. So that's pretty cool. But we don't know her name yet. But the Gundam is called Ariel. And the anime is scheduled to air this October in Japan. And there will also be a prologue to the series. Now, will that be simulcast to... simulcast to Crunchyroll and Funimation? Who can tell? But
They still haven't figured out their whole app situation yet, so who knows?
Well, then.
There's 2 different apps. And they're the same
still?
thing. Still. 2 different subscriptions. Still.
That's interesting.
The math is no longer math.
I think it'll be interesting. The artwork doesn't. So the artwork of the teaser does not look to be like CGI, but the artwork of the poster kind of made it look like it was going to be like some kind of CGI
Listen,
stuff.
I understand you're a purist, and this is a side note. This was in regards to your comments about Tekken.
Oh, that looks like garbage. You can't tell me that don't look like trash.
I believe that the artistry is trying to stay true to the video game. I understand.
There were movements. There were
movements.
movements that was like, oh, that's from the video game. The left, right. Like, sure, but the artwork in and of itself, I was just like,
I understand. Listen. You watch more anime than me, so.
Am I bugging?
No.
Am I bugging?
Listen.
Am I bugging?
Normally the way I assess something is if I enjoy it too much from first looks, I'm probably wrong. That's normally how I feel
Why?
off of first looks. Just
If
because
you
I don't
enjoy it too much.
like in regards to anime. Right? Because the same way you with Jin, right? You don't know. You don't know. You've had enough to know that you don't really bang with Jin. But you can be like, it could be good. I don't know.
Could be good.
We had the argument of the debate about the pizza. You don't know the difference. Sometimes me with anime, it's just like I don't know the difference. I just be like, Full Metal Alchemist had CGI in it, but it was still like,
What, Brotherhood?
yeah,
Did it?
Minimal.
You guys said the same thing about Demon Slayer,
yeah.
and I didn't see.
You didn't. You chose not to see. It's there.
Is it?
It's
And like the first season too that you guys talking about that. And I was like, really?
it's there. But see, I think artists are choosing to use CGI in a very specific way.
Mm-hmm.
So like when those scenes are like really fast moving and like you see like Inosuke scene when he's in the beast or he's in the demon and like the guts are like flying around.
Okay, yeah. No, yeah, that was obviously.
Even Tanjiro's effects, like when he's doing like the breathing,
really?
that's CGI. But what they do is a very deep shading that looks more shell shocked than CGI. But it's CGI.
And
Some people just use computers better,
maybe you gotta know your team,
or your audience.
what they did with Arcane, I don't mind that.
That's once again shell shock, but that's CGI.
Oh, yeah, but like that stuff like Genlock or like
That's fair.
What is it, Code Lyoko? Like I just
you don't like what was like you said Code Lyoko. What was the other one?
Well,
Reboot?
no. So Reboot was different because that was at a different time in a different age. And I said this. It was a different time. We didn't know any better, and it was just like, wow, computers.
It's giving VeggieTales, as they say.
But I don't know.
All right.
Something about anime and the CGI and Tekken.
Well, I feel like anime is you expect animation, right? But like even Disney's animation has evolved from
sure
hand drawn to now like.
But it looks fine. It's something about the way the characters move. I don't like with anime, like when
their turnaround time is different from a movie production sometimes. So
sure. I'm just saying the movements don't look natural.
Because even weird. Dragon Ball Super has a lot more
I don't watch
CGI,
Super.
but you know.
Anywho,
like I said, I don't know what good taste is in anime anymore. Don't ask me. I'm a comic book connoisseur. It's not the same.
That's my news. I'm excited to see what they do with this. It looks like it's going to like just the fact that it's like a female protagonist.
I'm excited for that.
Is like very interesting to me, and I'm excited to see what they do with it.
I've watched maybe 2 or 3 Gundam series, so I don't.
That's true. There's a lot. And
I know.
There's like 2 universes in
it. Trust me, I know. Somebody was like, "Hey, you interested in some Gundam?" Opened up their jacket. I was like, "Sorry."
Oh goodness.
I have to get home before the streetlights come on.
Wow.
But now we have gotten to the R portion of our
which is
reviews.
What is best? Do not have your kids in a hospital. They don't give a fuck, especially about black folks.
Yes, we're here.
It's the final one.
It's the final question.
Can I get it?
Can you get a perfect score? Probably. I mean, it's shown in anime. If you don't, what are you doing with your free time?
What are you doing? Are you working? Lame. Paying bills? Whack.
Well, yeah. Third question. In Naruto, who is the leader?
Actually, it's Naruto.
Sure. I never know the difference and don't care to correct me. Because I might say Naruto next time. And I probably will. I'm going to say it right now. In Naruto, who is the leader of Team 9? You need multiple choice?
I don't want to do multiple choice because
you want this? Do you want this perfect score though? Do you want this shot though? It is what it is. You only got 2 options here.
All right. Well, give me some multiple choice. Let's see what happens.
Is it Kakashi? Azuma? Gal? Or Sunday? How do I get that one?
I'm gonna say Azuma though.
Okay. Yep. Like I said, I don't watch Naruto. It's not a thing. It is what it is. I'm
gonna say Azuma.
Big Dan knows a lot of comic book things that y'all probably don't know. Okay. All right. I will not be targeted here on this episode. I wish Sterling was here.
What's funny is like
nope.
I saw Azuma, but I didn't know his name, and then you saw what happened, and I was like, there it is.
There it is. You didn't get it right though.
What?
Nope.
It's not Azuma?
Nope. It's gay. Or guy.
Guy sensei.
I messed all this up because my eyes said gal, and I was like, that don't sound right.
You did say gal. I was like, who's
sure
that?
Did.
That's nobody. That was a trick. That was a trick and a deceiving. He's a deceiver. Viper's brood.
It was the Jin.
All right, well, cheers.
It was Guy. Somebody went and changed the spelling here because I feel like guy's name was never spelled this way.
Anywho. Oh. And now, back to our regular
Don't y'all miss
schedule-
Sterling? I do.
Back to our regularly scheduled episodes.
See you there.
Learn how to deliver your own kids and have them at home, kid. And leave that placenta.
And we're doing something a little different here because this wasn't promoted widely.
This was not promoted, I feel
This kind of
like,
came
at
in like
all.
stealthily. And I'm going to preface with this. Amazon Prime,
Doesn't do well with marketing.
with marketing in the sense that like I think there's too much on Amazon Prime that they don't have. They can't just keep rolling out commercials for each thing that they drop. So they pick and choose, and I think this was a missed opportunity. And what are we talking about? We're talking about Master, starring Regina Hall. And
I got a quick synopsis.
go ahead
of
and
the-
give the synopsis.
of the story.
I don't want to minimalize or trivialize it with how I would review it. But after you say what you're gonna say, then I'll reduce
Then
it.
you'll talk.
I'll reduce it down to the plot points in which I thought
Okay.
it is.
Well, it's a thriller drama.
Okay.
And yes, it is on Amazon Prime.
Thriller though?
That's what it says.
Okay.
3 women strive to find their place at a prestigious New England university that may disguise something sinister. That's so. I feel like depending on where you look, you get a different. So like you get a different synopsis because on IMDb it says 2 African American women begin to share disturbing experiences at a predominantly white college in New England. Which is kind of, I mean, just between that and what you see when you have Google, it's kind of like a tell because Google says 3 and IMDb says 2. But
This could be considered a spoiler, but we'll
Yeah.
get there when we get there.
yeah. So we should start with non-spoiler review, just numbers. Go ahead.
This is a 2 for me.
Wow.
This is a 2 for me. Yeah, 2 for me. We'll get there. We'll get there. There's only 2 of us, so there'll be a
Yeah.
conversation. Obviously, there's no like middle ground. Sterling, that's just like I enjoy all things.
It looks good.
Sterling's just kind of like I'm gonna give Sterling a score right now. Sterling be like, just a 4, just because Sterling likes things. Miss you, bud.
Oh gosh, he's gonna be in the comments. Actually, I saw it.
Right.
I give this one. I give it a 3.
Okay.
I give it a 3.
All right. Well,
No, let's-
spoiler
spoilers ahead.
alert. Spoiler alert. This is where we break it down.
Why
a 2?
2?
I think it tried to replicate cinematically the same delivery of Get Out,
I've heard that.
and it was less nuanced. And the only reason I'll say it's less nuanced is because we've seen Get Out, and once you've seen Get Out one time, it's no longer nuanced, right? So you kind of feel like, oh, I get the direction in which they're going, and especially now with black trauma horror, is that what we call this genre?
So that's one thing I wanted to ask. Do you think that this was black trauma?
We'll break it down, but it unfortunately gets reduced to that giving the ending.
I don't know though.
At least with the character for Jasmine, it was black trauma.
Was that was student?
The student.
It
It was,
sure.
and
But I feel like black trauma usually points towards like slavery.
no,
You know?
not anymore. No, I think we've evolved enough that now it's more about black trauma is more about the microaggression,
Okay.
the discrimination, the
Black trauma has become all inclusive to
but
include present day.
because I feel like America has evolved in its level of racism.
Mm-hmm.
It's more subversive. It's more subtext than it is like
Out in the open.
yeah. And so I think that's
like,
what this was trying to prove, or at least be the story that it wanted to tell. But even like I said, I feel like the delivery was better handled in Get Out. And I don't want to compare the two, but unfortunately you have to, because
I don't think you can though.
I feel like you do, based on the fact that the way the movie opens and the way the movie ends is just.
Well, I mean, this is the spoiler part. So
Right.
like,
But like the movie opens with like, oh, black girl on campus. Oh, black girl gets the room where all the other black trauma and hate, black hate has occurred.
sure.
And you're kind of just like, all right, hopefully she's the hero, and you're like, she sees the
Yo,
end.
I was shocked and surprised that she did not see the end.
But I feel like that was their only real shakeup that they could to do with that, because you're rooting for her the whole movie. But even then, I'm kind of like, as a black person, there was a lot of missteps.
I did think that. I was
There's
like,
a lot of-
there are a
but-
lot of choices being made that I'm like, come on.
But they, and once again, they showed their hand in the movie where they were like, she's like, where do you think I'm from? I'm from the suburbs. And I was like, there you go. That's it.
So?
She pretty much tells you she hasn't had to deal with any of this before college. And as a personal experience, I'll tell you, college was one of the most, like, immediately one of the first racist, like, places I was a part of. But it was a melting pot, because it was a bunch of people who did not know. It was a bunch of ignorance all coming together. Like, there was
By
every
your
race.
ignorance combined, I am racist.
Listen, I think we all felt racist. Like, we all felt racism, and we all felt racist at the same time in college, because it was just like all walks of life coming together and just trying to learn, but at the same time also learn humanity.
Unlearn some things and learn some new things.
A lot of people did not unlearn.
Hey,
You know who you are. If you are watching this podcast, you know who you are.
you're supposed to unlearn some things.
You should.
And learn some new things.
But like, and I had a very diverse group of friends in college, but at the same time, it was also like a lot of ignorance surrounding what people knew and what they didn't know. And it was just a lot of assumption.
Sure.
But back to the movie,
Right. But because she's in the suburbs, one thing that I thought was wild with everything going on was that her parents were not, like, we never saw her parents. I asked about this, and Laura was like, well, she's in college now. Like, she, 18, I'm like, but at some point, something has to hit, like, the news, the radar, you have to call home,
but when she's in the hospital, right, the master says, your mom says you barely called. I mean, you choosing to suffer alone.
So, it was just... I agree that there were a lot of missteps and there were a lot of things happening that I was just like...
there was a lot of things I related to, but at the same time, I was also like...
Is that like showing my age or something like that? Or
like I said, it was more of a misstep because of the fact that it didn't have any meaning behind it. Like, it just was. Like, okay, she didn't talk. She chose to not talk to her mom. Like, she chose to not be assertive in certain situations where she was kind of just steamrolled over. Like the scene with the pizza, when then they were she was like, "Hey." She was like,
"Hey,"
she did like this. She's like, "Hey, it's $20." And
it's like, well, if you want to be like that, that's my wine. And it's like, no,
okay, we can be like that.
It's like, hey,
you see this glass? I'm done. I want my $20.
Yeah,
or the aggression she got against the lunch lady.
That was weird. What was that about?
The lunch lady was like, "You're not supposed to be here." That's what I felt.
That's what you felt? I thought because she was having... She
chummed up to all them little white folks, and she knew that's how she making her bread. but at the same time, the negativity that you felt being projected wasn't negativity as much as it was like you shouldn't be here.
I thought it was more of a spiritual thing, like a supernatural. That's what I want to say, because she saw the picture and the weird stuff was happening, and so I felt like whenever she saw something weird, it was almost as if it literally was not happening, like she was sleepwalking. Like, I will say the only thing that was different though was that when a very hard tell that it was not happening was the color scheme,
which I was another reason why like it goes down a notch as far as score was like it was too dark. Like the movie sometimes was too dark. Like I watched it once on TV and then I was also like watching it on my device at one point. My brightness was all the way up. Still, I was like,
people were just in the shadows.
I was like, what that is? I don't like that. Nope. That's a no. That's a no for me.
I think there were enough.
The red didn't really complement the story that they were telling. Like the red attempted to make it more sinister, but it just felt like the emergency lights were on all the time. But I was like, y'all don't pay y'all electric. Like,
but what if that's the thing? Like the emergency, like there's an emergency.
Maybe there was an intention.
Maybe it was an artistic choice.
And who knows? Maybe we one day be able to talk to the director about that, but
hopefully.
Probably not. So I will say Regina Hall shined.
Yeah.
But I don't think it takes much for Regina Hall to be a great actress in her movies. Given how, even in like when Scary Movie and all that stuff was happening, right? When she plays her part, she plays it well. When she's doing comedy, she do comedy and she takes it to a 10. When it's drama / horror, she delivers the urgency. And now that she's, maturing, and I won't say older because black don't crack, but
she's 51 allegedly.
Allegedly,
I was surprised.
I was like, that's the same woman I've been watching for the last 20 years. She has not aged.
That's water,
the only thing that's changed is the haircut. Like, but I just the stories felt connected, intertwined, but then disconnected so much.
Sure. Yeah. The story of like the
Regina Hall being the master.
Right. Now, was that the slave house, like the master slave house, or like
probably? I mean, they don't really say, but
they don't. But the only thing that they hint towards is like you see like the slave in the background, in the background of the picture, and then when she has that one vision,
then the slave is like giving her the side eye. I was like, in the picture, I was like,
yeah,
it was.
There was something there that I feel like if anything, the story was not truly flushed out. And
I feel like the lore that they were the lore was not fleshed out. The college and all that was not fleshed out. And then they tried to do too many different horror elements. Like the people of the town doing their ceremony while she's jogging. Like, I would have made them the protagonist, like the antagonists. Like they celebrate all the the witch.
Were they not though?
They really weren't. They just were just there. They were like set piece. The real villains was like the professors on the board, but even then they weren't really villains. They were just ignorant white folks.
Also, were they? And this is why I was like, is it supernatural? Is this not? Because the end where you see like
the pictures,
I'm like, they look very much alike. Are they supposed to be reincarnated? Like, are they like, because they kept looking at her like weird,
right?
And so I'm like,
but I wonder, and this is because the movie was so open ended. I wonder if the death of a black person keeps them immortal.
Oof.
Like that's proof of their tenure, right? Because every time that's a black person's been
died, she got tenure because somebody died.
Exactly. Like almost like a sacrifice. But I was like, they don't really
kind of creepy.
Really?
But that's like
that would have been a good way to like explain it.
I got chills.
Sometimes I'm good
They're
at this.
multiplying.
Sometimes I'm good at this.
No, that would be dope.
But I mean,
not
thinking,
dope.
No, right.
But
not dope. But as far as the
storytelling,
right.
is good.
But I was thinking that like all along, I was like, one, like I said, because it alluded so much to Get Out,
Mm-hmm.
and then like the way that they kept breaking up the movie into chapters,
Yeah,
which kind of like kept taking me out of the movie
really.
a little bit.
I think
Because then you're just waiting for that one line. Like after you figure out the first chapter is them saying one line,
right.
and then the rest of them, I'm just like,
I was just hoping that those chapters would, I guess to your point, mean something.
mm-hmm.
So like, if somebody says, "And I hate that," it's like, well, what does "and I hate that" have to do with like the overarching theme? I feel like there was only maybe one or two that had to do with like the overarching theme of the state that the place was in.
I would say the intention, at least based on the delivery from the director, was to build more social commentary rather than focus on the actual horror aspect. And so there was no real balance. Like there should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we're comparing Get Out did really good at the horror part and also at the like social commentary portion.
Sure.
This should have leaned more into the social commentary and made that the horror. Like it did the witch thing, which only really connects back to Rachel Dolezal's, Liv Beckman.
That's the character's name.
Yeah.
Because the real person, I think, is Amber Gray.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Amber Gray's character of Liv Beckman, which dealt with colorism in a very interesting way.
You know what's wild? So I saw her, and I was like, huh, okay, light-skinned black girl, that's fine, like whatever. Then it's like, but she's white, like,
right.
Or like the lady says that she's white, and it's like, or her mom says that she's white, and I was like, huh, I mean, maybe. But Laura was like, yeah, she like when she first saw her, she was questioning it. She was like, I don't know if that like
there was lines and tells that they were trying to give you, like how she only went after Jasmine in her report about the Scarlet Letter and like looking for racism or critical race theory in places that it doesn't exist. There was the line.
So you think that she was actually white?
I there's no doubt in my mind that she was white, given her exit in the movie when she throws on the hood. I was like, she's the witch, and I was like, she's getting her black essence from killing off these black folks.
So wait, because I guess this is my big issue with it, and kind of like we already said, the lore was not explored.
It was not established at all.
Like it just wasn't like there was. I feel like a lot to like really bite into, and it just wasn't there. So when she threw on the hood,
right?
I literally said what you be always saying, like, you don't find that suspicious? You need to follow.
No, like, Regina Hall was like, I'm done, and I was like, you're right. I feel like in that moment as a black person, I would have been like, nah, this is a good time.
I don't know, man.
No, all that like in investigation stuff, that is not a black.
Sure. I just would have noted it. I guess I would have had her like my directorial advice would be like, all right, you need to note this, and we need to see you be like, no, like I'm done, like. And then when you like exit, when you're like, oh, I'm not actually faculty anymore, like it makes sense because you're like, I can't do this anymore.
But even the ending was abrupt.
I don't think it was
there wasn't a resolution in the way that horror movies get resolved.
Yes.
and it was like she left. She kind of like
She
the
kinda
only
left it for the next black person to
right. Like
unfortunately.
this is when you're, especially when you're the face of something. This is when you go like make a PSA, go to the news, and be like, "Don't none of y'all come here
right.
at all."
Or at least on Black Twitter, like
Something. Send up a bat signal, like just be like, don't go here.
we don't
Right.
we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about it. Like, I will say, had they leaned into the student body more, it would have made more sense of the story. Like the Mo Bamba scene when all them little white kids start rapping the lyrics and said nigga way too many times. I was just like,
They were just loving it.
but I was like, this is the commentary you want to talk about.
Sure.
Because this is the stuff that if it does not get addressed here, allows them to turn into the people that the professors become.
Sure. But I think
Which
they were
was
trying
like the reverse allyship, the microaggression.
I think because they introduced two characters, I guess I felt like there should have been a moment where they teamed up and got out.
Nope.
And like because that never happened, you're left with this feeling of like, well then who am I supposed to be paying attention to? Because I thought it was her.
Jasmine. Yeah.
And now that ain't the case.
Right. She is gone.
And so I feel like there was I think it really falls back on the fact that the lore was not, that's why it wasn't a successful thriller, drama, horror show, because the lore was not really delved into or resolved, right? Like, and even I can't even remember what they said about the witch, like, except for, what was it? Was it that she could read, or was it that because she could? What made her a witch? There was something that was like really ridiculous that made her a witch.
Probably that she could read.
We'll go with that.
See, and I'm yawning because I'm thinking about the movie, but I do want to walk something back. Because I think it's unfair for us to act like this was a female black director.
Yeah.
And as far as cinematography goes, I didn't care for some of the choices, but it doesn't stop it from being a film.
Yeah.
I also don't think that the story itself was fleshed out enough for the end product that we got. That would be my argument. Only on, I'm not being critical of her directing. I'm saying the story itself, which it requires bodies of writers and all of that.
Yeah.
I don't think it was complete based on the fact that, is Liv white? You should answer that question.
There were a lot of unanswered questions, and I don't know if that was a choice to
And
make.
it could be a choice, and I think it could. Sometimes art is supposed to be left up to the interpreter, right? Like,
sure.
but
Sure.
listen, but when you leave certain things like that open to interpretation,
Yeah.
I think it opens the door for more opposition.
Mm-hmm.
I think resolving that in your movie would have explained why she was the way she was. The students, like I said, should
Were
have been
weird.
more highlighted because there was weird moments. Like,
Yo, when she came back and like people were sitting on her bed and like ain't nobody move.
once again, she did not have the same black experience that we had because you on my bed with shoes on. That's a no-no.
It's just like it was, and Tyler was weird. Like
Tyler was crazy weird. Amelia, there was one interesting connection. Was that when she read Virginia's diary, the also white roommate that Virginia had was named Alice. So it started with an A. Scarlet Letter. And you know, I was like, okay, somebody doing something out here. I was like, I like that. I like that part. That was it. There was nothing from there. It was just like she called and lied to her parents about Thanksgiving. I was like, baby, go home.
Oh, what did she lie to her parents about?
She was like, my roommates. I'm going with my roommate's family for Thanksgiving.
What? Oh.
And then stayed on the campus and got the
Here's the thing.
flaming cross. I was like,
that. Here's the thing. Because it was a horror film, I was already like we watched this like in broad daylight because I was like I can't like
every time I put it on, the sun was out.
I was like I don't want to do this, and I can't see a horror film starring black people at night living in Philadelphia.
Which is crazy because we watched like what was it what was it on HBO? Why can't I remember the name?
A horror film on HBO?
The show.
A show?
It was like the best show we watched in the recent years.
The best show that we watched in recent years. I almost said
why can't I remember the name?
I almost said what was that with the Bullet?
Smollett?
No, the Bullet, Lakeith Stanfield.
Oh.
Idris Elba.
We've been drinking too
The
much
Harder
James.
They Fall.
Harder They Fall.
The Harder They Fall, but that's not a show.
No.
It's not on Amazon Prime.
It's Netflix.
But no, I felt like I would want to rewatch it again, but at the same time I don't because it's still a horror film.
Right. Lovecraft Country is what I was thinking.
Oh, Lovecraft Country. So this is going to lead up to my point.
Okay.
I wish seeing this, thinking about it, talking about it, and then thinking about what would have made it better if it would have been a show. Like limited series though. Limited series, you get like 5 episodes.
I think that would have helped. One, with the world building.
Yeah.
2, with understanding motivations of certain characters. But movies be movies, and you were able to get it done, and
Shout out
Amazon
to her.
Prime was like, sure, we'll take it.
Yeah.
So I ain't mad.
It wasn't bad. It just wasn't like. I think there were just a lot of unanswered
It
questions.
was
that I
more
really wanted.
bad than good to me. But that's just I gave it a 2. I'm standing by that score.
I see.
But
I just wish. I don't think it was bad. It feels like an incomplete
that's what I'm saying.
story.
I'll say that. I'll take that and say it felt incomplete. I don't feel resolved in the movie at all, and I feel like I have more questions than I have answers.
Yeah. Unless that's the point. If that's the point, then you did a great fucking job.
Then this might be a 7. Like you wanted us to be like curious. We here.
Super curious.
So, yeah. I mean, we reached the end of the episode. I don't. If you have Amazon Prime, which you probably do because you're a millennial. If you don't, don't ask us because legally we can't give you the password. But if you had a auntie or an uncle, your mama, like somebody got the password.
Somebody has it. You can get it.
Go over to their house, watch.
We're not endorsing that you do that.
Nope.
But we're just letting you know that somebody has
There's
it
a relative
somewhere.
that will allow you to watch Amazon Prime. Not give you their password because that's not legal.
Who knows? Maybe you actually watch it in their house with them.
As you should.
And
because, why would you take their password? That's not okay.
Exactly. But yeah. We've reached the end of the episode. Let us know if you've watched Master. Let us know what you think. I hope you've watched Master if you're watching this and you're here at this point in time in the video. Let us know what you think in the comments. And we'll see you on the next one. And as Dan always likes to say.
But even if your bread's straight, big house, nice car, gotta keep your head straight. People that be gossiping constantly only dead weight.